It's time to mind your business with me, Jamillah Lodge. Tune in to find out how to mind your business with BEDC, special guest entrepreneurs, industry experts, and more. Brought to you by BEDC. Bermuda business starts here. So welcome to Mind Your Business. I am your host, Jamillah Lodge. I am so pleased to have you here. You're Jensen Rogers, owner and candle maker of Wic Candle Co. Welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes.
Ms. Jamillah.
So today we're going to talk about your entrepreneurial journey.
Yes.
We're going to talk a little bit about why Wic Candle, and hopefully you can drop a little gem for us about how you got started and why.
No
But
problem.
before we go into that, why don't you give us a little history on yourself? Tell us about yourself.
Okay, Jensen Rogers, Black-owned candle company located here in Bermuda. Male owner in a female-dominated space.
Mm-hmm.
Started the candle company in 2018, just playing around with it. Really supporting my boys with the loved ones' birthday presents and Christmas gifts and stuff like that. And then it just grew from there. We rebranded in 2021. And that's when I really decided that I was going to take it to the next level.
Okay.
But it started as just a little hobby. And then it turned into now what it is as a business.
So when you said hobby, so in terms of a hobby, most people like build stuff. Mm-hmm. You made candles.
Yeah.
So you made them for yourself. People smelled them and was like, hey, why don't you hook me up?
Exactly. I've always been a lover of art,
Mm-hmm.
but I've never been an artist.
Okay.
And I was able to draw and nothing like that, but I appreciate art. But then I found that this is another art form in creating candles. So I said, let me take my shot at this.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So here I am today, and it's been a success so far.
Yeah, I mean, the smell in here is glorious. You know, I walked in and was like, oh my goodness. So I think there's skill in being able to understand what notes go together to make something that you want to burn in your home and make it smell good. So when you decided in 2018 to start doing this and selling them, what was that process like? Like, what light switch went off for you to say, okay, I'm going to do this?
So what actually happened is I worked for a company that had the contract to distribute Yankee candles in Bermuda. I think it was probably one of the first businesses that was able to do it. And then I was buying Yankee candles. Everybody likes something that smells nice, you know, with your home smelling good. So I was purchasing, and then when something happened to where we switched and we went to a different brand of candle at the company. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, that Yankee candle scent that I like, I can't get it no more. Fast forward, I go away. I go to a candle like convention type thing, and we're making candles and stuff like that. And I took him a kit from that business, and then brought it back home. I looked online, found the scent that Yankee Candle had, and then there we go.
So you made it yourself.
Made it myself.
You was like, I don't need Yankee Candle. I got this. I love it. And so that kind of is what sparked your love for creating beautiful scents.
Yeah.
So that was your first candle, and not you did for yourself. Mm-hmm. What was the first candle that you made and sold to somebody?
First candle I made and sold was probably a candle called Bite Me.
Ew!
Yes, and I believe it was around this time of year, Valentine's Day.
Uh-huh.
And it was for a couple of myself and a couple of my mates, significant others.
Uh-huh.
So that was the first candle right there.
Okay, all right, I see you. So now, what are your candles made of? And tell me why you chose the different products and things like that.
So obviously, there's many waxes that you can use. There's many options. We use soy. When I chose soy because at the time, it was a lot of conversation around the paraffin wax and what it was doing with people that had asthma. Mm. So I didn't want to go down that road and then have customers saying, oh, I can't buy that because of what's in the wax, right? So I said, let me see if I can find something, an alternative, which was soy wax. There's many waxes now. There's coconut, there's mango, apricot, everything, right?
Really?
Everything. There's so much. It's beeswax. There's a lot of different waxes now, but we stick to what we know. The good thing about soy wax, it blends well with anything. I can actually blend this with other waxes to create a different mode. And it takes well to different fragrances.
Okay, so it makes it easier to get that essence of what you're trying to. Okay, so you mentioned that you rebranded in 2021. I think you said.
Yes.
Right.
2021.
Why? Like, what made you decide that you needed to rebrand?
Okay, so the original label was, instead of it being the eye with a flame, it was actually a candle jar. It was an actual candle jar.
Okay.
For me, it seemed too playful, too young. Yeah. So I wanted to be something that was simple but bold and stood out. So that's why we went with just a simple Wic. You know what I mean? So it was basically just taking it from the juvenile business to now the more.
You grown up now.
Yeah.
This is for grown folks. When you got candles called Bite Me, then I think we know who you're targeting. So when you're going through a process to select fragrances, can you talk a little bit about what that is? Because like I said, I called it flavor profiles, but you corrected me and said the notes of the candle, the combinations like this one is strawberries and champagne, which go together, and it actually smells delicious. So how do you go through the process of selecting your different
basically,
fragrances?
Time of year, what season we're in. So right now, obviously, it's Valentine's Day, so you got a candle that's strawberries and champagne. And the wordplay has to go with the time. So people would love to hear around Valentine's Day that they're buying a candle that says passionate kiss. You know, and it gives them ideas. It has thoughts running through their mind. So we usually select the fragrances based on the time of the year. Yeah.
So do you have any that just are just consistent, that you have all the time? You can always find these.
Yes. So for some reason, everybody loves vanilla. So anything with vanilla in it, it's every day, every month of the year seller. Basically, mango, vanilla, any type of real berry scent, some pineapple, people usually like. So we have a pineapple cilantro, a mango papaya, a black raspberry vanilla. Those three are kind of like
top sellers. So when you introduce a new fragrance, does it become part of your lineup, or is it just, like you said, seasonal, where strawberry and champagne will only be available during Valentine's, or is it now part of the list of fragrances?
So something like strawberry and champagne will probably be only available this time of year. We do have it available if it's a special order. So it's like a special order if they had smelled it before and I want that scent. But it's not something that's in rotation monthly.
Okay.
We usually keep the same top 5 sellers monthly, and then we add maybe 4 or 5 more new ones.
Okay.
To the list.
And how are you getting these in the hands of the people? Like, where are you selling these?
So we have Instagram. We have a website that we just launched in November, and we do have a spot at Nail Bar.
Okay.
That, Nail Bar, Central Dorm, amazing. She allowed us to put something in there. So.
Okay. So, I mean, that's an opportunity, right? You can do that with other, like, businesses, like, all around the island to keep your overhead low so you don't have to pay rent, right?
Yeah. And that's pretty much where we want to go. We want to look at places like a Nail Bar, right, where it's a lot of female traffic, and, no shame on the guys, but a lot of females have they prefer candles over men. That's our top buyers.
Y'all know y'all like the room to smell good too. Don't be shy. And I will say a woman would appreciate, or your partner would appreciate, coming in and the house smelling beautifully, right? Yeah. So we gotta make sure that we're tapping into that piece, because people like to smell good, they like to look good, and you're doing that. It looks good and it smells good. So I want to talk a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey. So have you always known that this is what you were going to do? You're going to start your own business. You're going to be your own boss. Was that always in the cards for you?
I always wanted to be my own boss. I always wanted to create something and scale it. I always wanted to try to build something on my own and see if that's where my strong suit is. At first, it wasn't candles.
What was it?
At first, it wasn't candles. I've had a taxi, I had a trucking business and stuff like that, and I was building and selling the businesses, right? But with this one, this has been my baby. This is the one. This is the one where I've had a chance to like have it help me. So with creating candles for me is not really work because I use it as like a therapeutic time. It's like therapy, right? So I lock myself in the room and just go through the emotions of making the candle. And after a long day of work or coaching and stuff like that, this eases my mind.
Got you. Got you. All right. Well, I mean, whatever you can do, it's working. It's helping your mental health, and it's also helping your pocket too because you're able to sell the fruits of your labor, which is great. But I guess did you have either family or a mentor that you modeled your entrepreneurial journey after? Because you said you always wanted to kind of do your own thing. Like, did you grow up around entrepreneurs?
Not really, but I had go-up parents that owned their own car garages and stuff like that, and it was always the having the freedom, the flexibility of it's yours. It's yours. You earn it. You can try different things without having to ask anyone if you can. So like with the candle branding, I was able to change the branding without having to ask somebody.
Right.
So it's mine. It belongs to me. If I found out that like this is not for me, then I can put it down. If it's not working today and I want to pick it up tomorrow, I can. It's mine.
So you have that autonomy. You get to decide what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. And I would imagine a lot of entrepreneurs feel the same way, right? They want to chart their own course and do their own thing. And it's so wonderful when you can find something that you're passionate about that you can also sell. You know what I mean? And make a living. So that's awesome. So in terms of the business itself, right? You launched it here in Bermuda. You do have online. You have a website. So do you have any desire to have Wic Candle be available all over the world?
Yes. It's something that we want to add sooner rather than later. But what's happening is that shipping is so expensive at the moment. But we will be sitting down with the shipping companies to see what we can get and how we can go about it. But we would love to definitely have them overseas. And
now,
stuff like
I've
that.
heard that from other entrepreneurs who I've interviewed that DHL is usually very good to work with in terms of that. So I'll just put that out there. I mean, talk to all of them because we've had FedEx on here and they had like a small business kind of initiative as well. So I would say talk to all of them, but I do know from having conversations with others that they said DHL was someone they like to work with. So now you mentioned coaching, you slipped it in there. Right. So I'm assuming candle making isn't the only thing that you do. So how do you manage the coaching, whatever else you're doing, and getting these candles made for sale?
You schedule. You have to schedule your days accordingly to what your needs are. So candles, it's probably every month, probably like a 2-week busy period.
Okay.
It's not like a every day, every week. So it's probably out of 2 weeks, I'm probably busy 4 days out of them 2 weeks, each week, sorry. And then I schedule that around football. So football is probably 3 days of the week. The other 4 days will be dedicated to the candles. So
okay.
It's about, you balance it out, make it work for yourself, but yeah. Definitely.
So you're a football coach?
Football coach, yes.
Okay, so you didn't mention that in your introduction, right? So talk to me a little bit about that because I would imagine, now is it just you making these candles or do you have a team?
Yes, I have a team, but I am the sole person for creating the candles.
Okay.
I have my sister, she does the marketing part for me, along with Corey Hippolyte, who I spoke to you about, at Bloom, and then my niece does the finances. Okay. Yeah.
So my question was going to be, how important is it for you to have a team?
Very important. Very important. If anybody's tunes in and they take something from this, build your team. Build your team. You cannot do everything yourself. you would find if you try to do it yourself, you're gonna find that you can get overwhelmed. You know, you're not gonna have enough time in a day. You're gonna feel like you're under pressure, and you might feel like it's time to give up. But if you build a team, and obviously you need people that's trustworthy, but you build your team and you give everybody a role and responsibility, and trust me, you would thank yourself for doing that.
So how did you arrive at that? Because some people are like, no, I have to do everything myself. First of all, I can't afford to hire a team. Second of all, nobody knows better than I do. So how did you arrive? Because I think what you're saying makes perfect sense, right? In order for you to scale any business or to do anything great, you do need support. Yeah. So how did you arrive at that?
Just basically understanding who I am and what my limitations are, what I'm good at. Being honest with myself, knowing that, okay, social media is not me. I'm not social. I couldn't tell you how to do a reel or anything like that.
Oh, hell, you're not. You sound like me.
I couldn't tell you how to do that. So understanding, okay, well, if I can't do it, I need to find somebody that can do it, and giving them that responsibility. I know that I can create the candles. I know that if I've got a vision for a brand, if I'm rebranding and what I want it to look like, I know I can handle that part. What I can't do is the social media stuff. So knowing who you are and what you're capable of doing, and then finding somebody else that can do the rest for you.
Listen, you sound like a seasoned entrepreneur. I'm telling you, because that sometimes is a hard part, right? Yeah. Recognizing that you do need that support in the team, especially if you, like you said, you're looking at trying to scale outside of Bermuda. How are you going to do that if you don't have a team, right? It's only so many hours in a day. So that you understand that now, and to me, relatively young, right? 2018 to now, and you went through COVID, right? And still came out on the other side. So that's impressive on its own, especially selling. What would you consider? A candle is like a luxury kind of good?
Yeah. I'd say it's like a luxury piece addition to any home. I would say a candle is something that enhances the area in your home.
Right. Yeah. So you don't have to have it. It's not like bread and milk, right? So
so it's definitely a luxury piece to any home. Yeah.
So that you came out on the other side of COVID, still here, rebranded. It looks beautiful, smells beautiful. How important was the team in making that happen? Being able to sustain through what everybody experienced as a downturn.
Yeah. Okay. So, fun fact: my sister is someone that will stay on top of me until I get it done. Like, so during COVID, it was kind of like, okay, what do we do? It's COVID. How do we get to these people? How do we on lockdown? We can't get out. We can't deliver. They can't pick up. But we found a way. My sister was just like, listen, it's somebody that's moving. It's somebody that's moving. Everybody can't be standing still.
Right.
So we just had to figure out who was moving. We give them the delivery fee. And
then they would deliver the candle. Yeah. I ain't mad at you. I am not mad. Yeah, I mean, if that's not entrepreneurial, I don't know what it is. You know, you find a way or make a way, right?
You find a way or make a way. That's as simple as it gets. You're gonna have roadblocks. There's gonna be hurdles. You just have to find a way, and like you said, make a way.
So one of the things that you mentioned about distribution-wise is you have them currently in the nail bar, but I'm thinking like wellness and health. And Corey, I know she specializes in working with companies that are in that space.
Yes.
So how do you see yourself collaborating with others in that space?
Yes, I'm open to collaborate with anyone who has the drive, any vision, and stuff like that. But definitely anyone that's in the wellness space and the like the nail bar. Anything that drives female traffic, hair salons, nail salons, anything like that, boutiques, stuff like that. Massage places.
Yeah.
So.
They make candles now where when you melt it, it turns into like massage oil. You know how to do that? You do that?
Yes, I could do anything. Anything that a client needs, I can do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's an opportunity. Like, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, so now you could partner with like a massage therapist, have these exclusive candles, right? That are dual, as it smells good and it's massage oils. Yeah. Listen, look, you need to put me on your team now. I'm just playing. Yeah. I'm playing. So when it comes to keeping your finances intact and all of that, you mentioned that you have someone on your team that does that. How important to you is it to understand that piece of the business, the finances, the financial piece of the business?
Very important, because that's what's going to keep the business afloat. You can make as much candles as you want, but if the finances ain't adding up, the business can go bottom.
It don't make dollars. It don't make no sense.
And then when you go to places like the bank, they want to know the finances. They don't want to know what pretty jar you have. They want to know your finances. Any investors, they want to know what you have, what you need, and how I can make money, or how you're going to make money for me. So finance is very important in business. And if you don't understand, find somebody that does. And then obviously you learn along the way. So like me, I'm learning about social media now. I'm learning about the finances side now, so that if anything was to happen to any of them players on my team, I have some understanding of it as well.
Now, you mentioned early on in our conversation that the team is important, but it's also important to find trusted team members. Like, how do you discern who to trust, who not to trust? Like, do you have like a checklist that you go through?
Yeah, I would say research. So even with like Corey coming on and being someone that helps with our social media and how we look on social media, I researched probably about 10 people. 10 people, and then I narrowed it down to 3, and then I had conversations with them, and then I chose Corey. I'll say choose someone that doesn't think exactly like you, because you always want somebody that has a different opinion to challenge your thoughts, but also understands who you are. So with Corey, she throws out ideas. I might have an idea, but she might throw something, but she understands what I'm looking for. And then I think that's where it works best.
I think that's a good point, because you may find someone on paper, like they have all the things, right? Oh yeah, if I hire this person, I'm sure to get this. But having that connection where this person, because essentially she's going to be speaking for you, right? If she's managing your social media.
Yep.
So you want to feel confident that what she's saying reflects you and your brand. Speaking of your brand, how important do you think it is for you, the founder and creator of this candle, to be kind of front and center of your brand?
No, I'm just getting it. So being on the panel on the weekend,
yes,
was an eye opener. I'm not a public speaker type person, but being there on the weekend and being at Bacardi last night, you really see the need for it and why you should be out there in the open for people to see and know that that's you attached to that brand. Is very, very, very important. Very important. Just getting in the room with certain people is very important. You gain so much knowledge just being in the same room as these people, hearing their story. Even if you're not engaged in the conversation, just listening, just hearing like a little piece can go a long way. So last night I listened and got some jewels, and on the weekend I got some jewels as well. So.
And I think it's important because sometimes founders or entrepreneurs don't want to be front and center. And like you said, at that Bacardi Masterclass, they talked a lot about the difference it made when they became front and center. Like Elizabeth Blankendale, she said, she's naturally shy. But once she decided to come out and start sharing her story, so many people responded to that. And I think you're absolutely correct. For a young black man such as yourself to be in an industry, like you said, is female dominated, right? Candles, you typically think of a woman entrepreneur, but you're a male entrepreneur. And I think that in itself sets you apart, right? From other candle makers. So what are some of the other things that you think set you apart from others? Because there are a lot of different candles on the island.
So basically, when I came in, obviously being a male, so I'm already over here. So I kind of ran with that. That's why the color of the jar is black. I wanted to have a statement piece. Black is usually like a power.
Yeah.
Something, if you go to a black tie event or like you got guys
dressing up, sharp.
So I wanted to have a candle that looked like luxury as well, instead of just saying this is a luxury candle. Normally candles are clear. Candle jars are clear. They usually have a sticker label, which we don't have that. You can actually feel the difference in the quality. So just trying to make sure that the brand could stand on its own in a crowded area. So if you saw my jar on a shelf, you can say, okay, that's Wic.
That stands out, right?
Yeah. Right. And you can see it across the room.
He's like, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but go ahead, toot. Yeah. Because I think it's important. And it's interesting because I was having this conversation with someone else, and they were talking about how some people will say, well, why are you starting another candle business? There's already enough candles out there. Like, why do that? And in my mind, I'm thinking, well, why not? Right. They're not going to make a candle like I'm going to make it. Right? So I think you can argue that this that you're presenting is not like anything else you've seen, right?
Yep. Like I had that same conversation. Somebody said, well, why candles? Candles are everywhere. People go to the shop and pick up Glade candles, They're not the Glade. I said to someone, it's about 60,000 people in Bermuda. It's about 40,000 homes. If I could get 10% of that, that's 4,000 homes. If I can get my candle in 10%, I don't need the 100%. I just need 10. That's a win for me. And that's how you have to think. You have to think that, okay, it's 50 candle companies in Bermuda. But maybe out of that 50, only 5 I'm competing with because they're doing the same thing I'm doing over here. Now, if the 5 that I'm competing with, it's more than enough for us to get an equal share out of it. So sometimes competition, you have to look at competition as not just competition, but it's healthy competition. It keeps you on your toes. It makes sure that you are crossing your T's and dotting your I's, So, and it makes you work. It makes you come up with new ideas because when it's a crowded industry, you have to now start implementing new things and come up with new ideas and making yourself relevant or keeping yourself relevant. So.
I would agree with that. And speaking of new ideas, do you have any kind of new collabs, anything that you're excited about?
Yes. So we have next month will be cerebral palsy.
Okay.
We are reaching out right now to DAME Hope School. We want to do something, a collaboration with them, and part proceeds will go to the school, stuff like that. We're always looking to give back. Looking to sponsor young athletes and stuff like that. So we always will be driving, sometime, at least 3 times a year, we're driving a campaign for stuff like that. So
I love that. Like, why? Why is that part of the culture of your company?
I just think in Bermuda, you got to give at times. So like with our jars, we have a recycling program. So if you bring the jar back, you get money off or percentage off if your next purchase. I think that for any company, any business, to give back, it doesn't hurt to give back. Whether you're giving back a small sum or a large sum, it doesn't matter. You just give back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you never know. You never know. You might have somebody that needs something. So I know Christmas times we usually get shopping vouchers. We give them out.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so we're definitely looking to do something with DAME. Obviously, Mother's Day is right around the corner, so we'll be probably trying to do something for Mother's Day as well. We usually try to collab and see if we get cell phone vouchers, SL1 or a gas station voucher, something like that to go with like the time of year. It's a mother, or it might be a mother that's in need, and we try to drive some stuff in for people like that.
I love that. And I think that fact that that's it sounds like it's embedded into the culture of your organization is great, because I do think that that's important. And I think when you give back, you can also receive more, right? My dad used to always tell me, you get more if your hands are open than you would if they were closed, right? So thank you for sharing that. We look forward to seeing that collaboration. And believe it or not, we are already at 30 minutes.
Already?
Yes, already. I told you. So before we wrap up everything, I just want to give you an opportunity to some advice or guidance to any young entrepreneurs.
Okay. First thing, don't wait. Don't wait. Start. The first step is to start. You don't need to spend a whole heap of money. Spend what you can to start your business and scale it. And as your business grows, the equipment that you need and stuff will grow as well. Build your team, like I said. Don't be afraid of failure. You have to understand that when you start a business, you will lose first, and then you will see the improvements as it goes. Losing meaning, obviously you got to buy equipment. Obviously you got to buy supplies and stuff like that. And if you're starting your marketing, whether you do a friend does it for you or not, you might have to pay someone for that. That's going to set you back into the negative. But as you grow, you'll be growing more towards the positive. So don't be afraid to take that initial loss, small loss, for a big gain. Yeah.
Those are wise words. Take the small loss for the big gain. It's like thinking about the long game, right?
Yeah, it's definitely not a sprint. Business is not a sprint. Business is a marathon. So be in it for the long run, and enjoy it. Enjoy it. You have to be passionate about it. You have to love it. You have to enjoy it. If not, it's gonna be stress.
It's gonna be work.
It's gonna be work.
Hey, you can do that working for somebody else, right? Not for yourself.
Yeah.
So how can people buy these candles?
Instagram, Wic Candle, Wic Candle Co. No, wiccandle.co is the website, and nail bar.
Okay.
At the moment, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming and minding your business with me today. I feel like we have done that. And just remember, if you don't mind your business, who will?
Facts.
Thanks for tuning in to Mind Your Business with me, your host, Jamillah Lodge. Tune in next week, Thursday at 4 p.m. because if you don't mind your business, who will? Mind Your Business is brought to you by BEDC. Bermuda Business starts here.